When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle walked away from royal life, they didn't just turn their backs on Buckingham Palace, they leapt headfirst into a new world of fame and fortune. But their grand escape wasn't quite the fairy tale many imagined. Instead of a seamless transition to a glamorous life in California, what followed seemed more like the plot of a Netflix drama. Fast forward to 2024, and the couple is facing a very different reality. They're now embroiled in controversies and legal battles, raising more questions than answers. From Harry's ongoing fight for UK taxpayer-funded security to the shaky deals that were supposed to make them billionaires, things are starting to look less like a success story and more like a cautionary tale. So what happened to their so-called financial fantasy? Let's break it down.
In March 2024, Trump brought up Prince Harry's deceitful visa application during election season. He vowed to deport the British royalty for failing to disclose about his drug use. And now that Trump is in power, he's being urged to pursue on his promises.
When Harry and Meghan made their dramatic exit from royal life, the world watched with bated breath. They were no longer just Prince and Duchess. They were now free to live life on their terms, away from the constraints of the British monarchy. But what came next seemed to promise even more excitement. With a slew of high-profile deals on the table, their future in Hollywood appeared brighter than ever. Netflix and Spotify were quick to sign them, with deals worth millions, making headlines everywhere. Their newfound freedom seemed like a golden ticket. Oprah was there to welcome them with open arms, and their promises of a new chapter in the US were met with anticipation. Everyone assumed they'd ride this wave of celebrity status straight to billionaire status. The idea was simple: leave behind the royal duties, ditch the titles, and cash in on their fame. It was the ultimate power move. Two royals turned global icons. But what started as a glamorous escape soon began to unravel. The public's fascination with their every move only amplified the pressure to deliver. And yet, despite their star-studded collaborations and high-dollar contracts, there was something off. The flashy deals didn't pan out in the way they'd hoped. The reality was far more complicated than anyone could have imagined. This wasn't the life of opulence and luxury they'd been promised. Instead, they were facing a very different kind of challenge. Leaving the royal family came with a price, one that Harry and Meghan may not have fully anticipated. While they gave up their royal duties, they didn't exactly walk away from all the perks. Perhaps the most glaring issue is Harry's continued demand for UK taxpayer-funded security. Despite living thousands of miles away in a luxury California mansion, Harry insists that he still deserves the same level of protection that comes with being a working royal. But that's not how it works in the UK. Security is reserved for those who maintain official royal roles, and even then, it's a selective process. Take Princess Anne, for example. She doesn't receive round-the-clock protection, and Prince Andrew's security was scaled back after his scandals. For Harry to argue that he deserves special treatment raises eyebrows, especially when you factor in the millions he and Meghan are making through their deals. Their reported earnings should cover more than just their lifestyle, but it's clear they're still trying to keep one foot in the palace door, clinging to the benefits of royal life while distancing themselves from the responsibilities. This ongoing tension is hard to ignore. How can someone who chose freedom and independence still demand royal benefits that were never meant to follow them into their new life? It's a contradiction that's not sitting well with many people, and it only deepens the public's skepticism about their true intentions. Harry and Meghan's post-royal financial empire was supposed to be a blockbuster success, but the reality has been far less glamorous. The couple signed massive deals with Spotify and Netflix, hoping to ride the wave of their newfound fame and wealth. At first, it seemed like a dream. Millions of dollars were on the table and the media buzzed with excitement. But as the years passed, the shine began to fade. Their much-hyped podcast series with Spotify never gained the traction it needed, and the streaming giant's investment seemed to fall flat. In fact, the deal unraveled so badly that one top Spotify executive even publicly called them grifters, a devastating blow to their reputation. Netflix wasn't much better. The streaming service handed over a $100 million contract, but so far the output has been underwhelming. A single documentary here, an animated project there, nothing substantial enough to suggest long-term value or impact. The big money deals they once celebrated are now being scrutinized as they fail to deliver the kind of success everyone expected. On top of that, Meghan's attempt to launch a business empire has also hit snags. Her lifestyle brand, which many hoped would rival the likes of the Kardashians, never took off. Her jam line might have sold out in 45 minutes, but insiders believe the reality was far less impressive, speculating it was more of a PR stunt than a genuine business triumph. Their financial dreams haven't just stalled, they're starting to show cracks. One of the most glaring issues surrounding Harry and Meghan's post-royal life is their apparent sense of entitlement. Despite stepping away from the royal family, they still seem to expect the same privileges that came with their titles. Most notably, Harry's ongoing demand for UK taxpayer-funded security has raised serious eyebrows. He claims that, despite renouncing royal duties, he is still entitled to the same protection as a working royal. This feels like a double standard to many. How can someone who wants nothing to do with the institution still cling to its benefits? But it's not just about security. There's a deeper sense of entitlement that runs through their actions. Harry's legal battles, public interviews, and memoirs seem to constantly criticize the monarchy, yet he continues to demand respect and financial support. This has only fueled the perception that, while they claim to want independence, they are unwilling to give up the perks of their royal life. The public's perception of them has shifted dramatically as a result. What was once seen as a modern, progressive couple breaking free from tradition has now become a story of contradictions. The public is growing tired of the narrative they've built, one that seems to revolve more around fame, money, and a self-preservation than genuine service or meaningful contributions. In contrast to the work of other royals like William and Kate, who have built a strong reputation through consistent philanthropy, Harry and Meghan's actions increasingly feel self-serving, leaving the public questioning their true motivations. As if their financial struggles weren't enough, Harry and Meghan's legal and immigration issues have only added fuel to the fire. One of the most controversial aspects of their new life in the United States is Harry's visa status. In his memoir, Harry openly admits to past drug use, including experimenting with cocaine and psychedelic mushrooms. For most people, this would raise major red flags when applying for a U.S. visa. Yet, somehow, Harry was granted entry, which has sparked serious questions about how it all went down. There are growing calls for transparency about his visa application. Did he lie on his forms, or did he receive special treatment because of his royal status? The Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, has been pushing for the public release of Harry's visa records, arguing that the average person would have been denied entry for openly admitting to drug use. But the Biden administration has remained silent on the matter, which has only intensified the speculation surrounding Harry's entry into the U.S. This legal cloud hovering over Harry is not just a political issue, it's a ticking time bomb. Whether it's the truth behind his visa approval or the implications of his past actions, it's clear that Harry's entry into the U.S. isn't as straightforward as it first appeared. And with the public's growing suspicion, this immigration saga is likely to remain a thorn in his side for the foreseeable future. As Harry and Meghan's ventures have faltered, whispers of financial manipulation and questionable dealings have started to surface. Their efforts to build a brand around their new life in the U.S. have raised more than a few eyebrows, especially regarding their connection to high-profile figures like Oprah Winfrey and the Biden family. Rumors have circulated that Oprah made a significant donation to their foundation, Archewell, just before their explosive interview aired. If true, this would cast a shadow of suspicion over the timing of that donation, raising questions about whether the interview and its subsequent accusations were partially motivated by financial incentives. And then, there's their relationship with the Biden administration. The couple has made no secret of their support for Democratic causes, and their close ties to the Biden family have become well documented. The Archewell Foundation's $250,000 donation to Ashley Biden, the president's daughter, has been heavily scrutinized. While some view it as a generous contribution, others see it as a strategic move to curry favor and possibly buy influence. The question remains, was this a selfless gesture, or was it part of a larger financial play aimed at gaining political leverage? These questions are compounded by the lack of transparency surrounding their charitable activities. Donations to Archewell have slowed, operations are minimal, and the couple's reported time investment, just 1 hour per week, raises more doubts about their true commitment. as their financial dealings continue to be shrouded in secrecy. The public's trust in their motives is rapidly diminishing. Harry and Meghan's transition from royals to philanthropists was supposed to mark the beginning of a new chapter, dedicated to making a real difference. But instead of thriving, their charitable efforts have been plagued with inefficiency and lackluster results. At the center of their post-royal charitable work is the Archewell Foundation, an initiative they launched with great fanfare. Initially, it seemed like the couple's desire to promote positive change would be their new calling. But as time has passed, it's become clear that Archewell is far from the powerhouse they envisioned. For one, the foundation's impact has been minimal. Despite their public claims, Archewell's operations have been underwhelming. Reports suggest that donations have slowed significantly, and the couple's reported time commitment to the foundation is shockingly low, just 1 hour per week. This is a far cry from the hands-on, full-time commitment that other royals like William and Kate have shown with their philanthropic causes. The lack of transparency around Archewell's finances and operations has only fueled suspicions about the couple's true intentions. It feels more like a side hustle than a legitimate charity, especially when compared to the work being done by other royals who are actively engaged in long-term, meaningful projects. This disconnect has led many to question whether their charitable endeavors are just another attempt to capitalize on their fame, rather than a genuine effort to help others. In the end, Archewell has become yet another example of how Harry and Meghan's royal exit has been more about spectacle than substance. The departure of Harry and Meghan has had a ripple effect far beyond their personal lives. It's raising questions about the very future of the British monarchy. Their exit, while initially seen as a mere family drama, has triggered a broader shift in the royal family's structure and image. With the couple gone, the focus has shifted entirely to William and Kate, who are now at the forefront of the monarchy's future. But their path forward isn't without its challenges. The royal family has been undergoing a transition in recent years, aiming to modernize and streamline its image. But with the monarchy shrinking, the pressure on William, Kate, and their 3 children is mounting. Will Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis be expected to carry the royal mantle in the future? Or will they have the freedom to live private lives away from the public eye? These are the tough questions the monarchy will soon face, as it grapples with the reality of slimming down. Harry and Meghan's departure, however, may have left a void in the royal lineup that many are overlooking. While the couple's exit was seen by some as a relief, their absence means fewer high-profile figures representing the family on the world stage. This downsizing might make it harder for the monarchy to remain as globally relevant, especially in an age where public appearances are vital for maintaining influence. Despite the challenges, the royal family's survival depends on its ability to evolve while keeping its centuries-old traditions intact. A tightrope that becomes even trickier as Harry and Meghan's saga continues to unfold. As Harry and Meghan continue to carve out their new lives in the US, their journey is quickly transforming into a cautionary tale. What began as a bold step towards independence has turned into a tangled web of financial missteps, legal challenges, and mounting public scrutiny. The perks they once enjoyed as royals are now being questioned, and their attempts to build a business empire and charitable foundation have fallen short of expectations. But the real tragedy lies in the growing irrelevance of their story. The couple's quest for freedom has come at a high cost, losing the trust of both the public and the institutions they once belonged to. And with each new controversy, they seem further removed from the royal family they tried to escape and the ideals they once represented. As the monarchy shifts into a leaner, more modern form, the question remains, what place do Harry and Meghan really have in this evolving picture? Can their celebrity status continue to carry them? Or will they eventually be left behind, unable to maintain the same level of influence? What's clear is that their journey, once filled with promise, now serves as a stark reminder that when you choose fame over duty, the path forward can become increasingly uncertain. In the end, the royal door may still be open, but if Harry ever chooses to walk through it again, it will be without the red carpet.